Checking. Are we good? Good evening, everybody. How are you? Speed presentation number 90 here. Back at Speed headquarters in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm in Daniel's engineering room, and we put an inside presentation together for you this week. We've done dynos, dyno room, out of the shop, chassis dyno, etc. stuff lately. And this is the first presentation we've actually done in a little while. So presentation number 90. And we'll start off, this week's been a pretty interesting week. Give me just 1 second here on my Insta. Forgot to do something. There we go. Bang, sorry about that. We sent out buyer's orders this week. And by sending out the buyer's orders, our plan is to send out 1,500 buyer's orders. So I'll switch over to page number 2. Daniel's already over there. We'll talk about the slight confusion on buyers' numbers. We broke up customers 1 to 500, and these aren't exactly right, so don't take my ad-libbing here just to true fact. But let's say Mike Rebello has customer number 100 through 500. Carla has 500 to 1,000, and Connor has 1,000 to 1,500. Each one of our sales reps have sent out 150 buyer's orders, which that means Mike's first 150, and then it jumps all the way up to 600 or 500 to 650, and then it goes all the way from 1,000 to 1,150 with Carla, because they each sent out 150 of their buyer's orders with customers that they have been dealing with. So if you see your buyer's order come and you're seeing buyer's orders that are later than yours, don't panic. That was just by ease for us because our sales reps have dealt with certain customers. We want to keep those customers dealing with the same sales rep, and each sales rep only sent out 150 buyer's orders so far. So if you see a car number 1,100 and think you potentially got missed, you didn't get missed. It just fell into the other sales reps' numbers. So hopefully that clears that up a little bit. Don't panic. We'll get to every one of you guys. Obviously, once sales orders went out and everybody realized that, well, this is getting real. Everybody started panicking, and honestly, the phones have blown up because they have to close out their orders so we can obviously produce the vehicles. We'll talk about last week. All the boys were back here. As I said, we didn't race anything, but I did go out to King of the Hammers. Popped out there a little bit for the trophy truck race, just to check things out. Went back for the UTV race, and I'm glad I did, because every time we go to events like that, I'm not there to watch the race. I'm there to check out the cars and see what's going on and go to the certain obstacles and see what vehicle does what over each obstacle. So I was able to learn more at King of the Hammers again. And because we weren't racing, probably learned more than I would if we were actually racing, by seeing other competitors. And got to be honest, there's some nice cars out there, but I'm not too concerned. I think we're going to be just fine when it comes down to go into battle. I want to congratulate Dave Cole and everybody at KOH, all of his employees, workers, volunteers. Awesome event. Look forward to being at King of the Hammers next year and being there in full force and competing in multiple classes. So it's on our agenda. It's something we want to do, and it was awesome. Very, very cool to see how many off-road enthusiasts there are out there. Also cool to see and neat to see Ford out there representing. Obviously, Jeep's been out there before, but now Ford's out there representing. Toyota had a booth. TRD had their concept Raptor-style truck out there, which was pretty cool. And there's a bunch of people activating around the off-road. So off-road's blowing up, and that's all because we have so many great enthusiasts out there playing. Sorry, before I get off that, thank you, Daniel. One thing I watched that was very interesting for me, and I went over to Chocolate Thunder for the 4400 race and watched the first, so let's call it 10 cars come through. After about 10 cars, I have enough and I'm ready to go find something else. Fifth car there was Kyle Cheney in a UTV. He went to go climb the obstacle at Chocolate Thunder, spun his tires, and I heard this, and I thought it broke the front diff, but it actually broke the front drive shaft is what they're saying. This is one of the features that we do have built into our Speed UTV and some of the things that we've been testing, but that's our front torque limiter. When it gets a bite like that, it'll actually spin the torque limiter and hopefully prevent breaking axles, drive shafts, other items. But that's a fine line there on getting that torque pressure right so that it slips the clutches and doesn't break parts. And so this is stuff that we've been working on. Obviously, this falls into Matt's project along with Albin's, and these are parts that we built into our car 2 years ago when we started the concept. Imtron, shout out to them at King of the Hammers. I think they won Everyman Challenge, first and third Everyman Challenge, and on the pole for Everyman Challenge and the 4400 race with Brian Croft. So another one of our partners that we chose early was Imtron to help us with our ECU technology. And I want to give a shout out to them and congratulations for their effort at King of the Hammers. And it instills more confidence in our decisions when we chose Imtron, which we believe is the right package for the Speed UTV. So all of you customers that are out there, Imtron is our partner with regards to ECU technology. Building speed. This is a funny one, and I've told this to both Steve and Todd lately. Everything we did to build the brand of Speed UTV and to build consumer confidence was basically, I got up here and I hate to say I kind of was a stripper. I took off all my clothes. I undressed my whole portfolio of workshop, technology, 35 years of racing, and we come out with really cool designs, really neat features that are innovative to the sport. But when you do that, you find people already immediately trying to copy. Obviously, we've seen it with the cylinder head and what's going on down in San Diego now with that. But we build a cylinder head that bleeds. We put a nice breather on it. We build it as a production motor. Boom. An accessory aftermarket company builds it for a Polaris as a hot rod tune-up part for Polaris. So as I go out here and try to develop things and share them with our customers, our competition is following right behind our heels. And I know they're watching all of our shows as well. And this will make tonight's show pretty interesting. So we started with a blank sheet of paper and a long heritage of my father's racing, my racing, and everything I've learned from other forms of motorsport, IndyCar, NASCAR, obviously Dakar, Baja, et cetera, et cetera. And I brought you guys along on this journey and showed you pretty much every concept from start to finish. Ooh, a little heavier than I thought.
That was fully loaded.
Fully loaded front diff. There we go. Let's bring up this cool little feature right here. So this was something we developed back in about 2018. We started on the Unicorn trophy truck. And we built this bulkhead that plugged onto the front of the trophy truck. And because we proved it out there, we built it into our Speed UTV right from the get-go. So this was one of the first features that we developed, and we shared it with you guys on our live streams. By doing that, we open up our competitors to get crafty and creative. But this bulkhead obviously was an in-house design, something we built originally for the Unicorn, and then turned it into the UTV. Pretty interesting, about a week ago, side-by-side guys post up a really nice video or picture of Polaris's enclosed cab. And they almost got it by me because it takes you to the inside cab. Well, you guys probably remember about 2 years ago, we told you we're going to do an enclosed Speed UTV. Now Polaris is running down the road on an enclosed cab. They probably aren't aware that we're already headed down that road as well. And thank God we were, because it would have been really a bummer to talk about it and then to get blocked. But the AC cab was actually just a way to kind of sneak in the old front bulkhead patent. If you look over here on this guy, you will see that that is a bulkhead front end, where the suspension ties to the casting ties to the front center section, and it's very similar to what we did with the Speed UTVs. It plugs on right here. But what they did is they kind of slid it in under the air conditioned patent. Thank God we trump them on dates with the trophy truck one. And this is where in the industry, people give me a hard time for running out and getting patents on things. But these are innovative designs that we put thousands and thousands of hard thought hours and testing into. And it'd be a real bummer to build something cool like this and have a company come in and just try to snatch it away from us. So on the surface, like I said, if you turn to the next page, back another one. There we go. I'm still here. On the surface, it looks like an enclosed cab, and they're trying to get it all tied in there. Well, there's our enclosed cab Speed UTV. Let's go to page 8 now. There's our front bulkhead down below. There's Polaris's bulkhead. Obviously, it doesn't have the steering on it, but there it is there, and that ties into the front bulkhead. Little they know on the trophy truck, we were already there. We were already headed that direction, and we applied for patent on the trophy truck, which tied it into UTVs, supercars, other forms of vehicles that we have plans with in the future as well, and built it, like I said, right into our Speed UTV. So this makes it kind of hard to continue undressing myself every single time we do an episode when these guys are vultures over here watching for us to prey on us and go after our designs. So we've got a lot of patents tied in the Speed UTV: dual plunging axles, trailing arms, front bulkhead, modular chassis. We have pulled a lot of patents in planning on to head to the best UTV in the industry. But as things develop, you always have to change. And this won't be my last good design. We have new stuff coming as well, not at the front, but towards the rear, that will be very innovative, and I think people will like as well. But it's just interesting that we come up with these ideas, we do them, and you got to protect yourself, and you got to really watch what's happening, or you find yourself being prey. Another cool thing about building Speed, that we're starting to see a lot in the industry is let's look at our friends from TAP. And Dave and Alan are awesome guys. If you guys have worked with them or met them, you'll know what I'm talking about. They got a ton of experience. But when we were going to develop, or when we developed the Speed UTV, when we started the Speed UTV, we needed to have a proper clutch. We needed to have something that would be the best in the industry. And that's exactly what we have with TAP. And as we see, they're now building clutches for Can-Ams, Polarises, obviously the Arctic Cat doing wheelies. These guys are great, and they make a wonderful product. So just want to give you guys some backside of what we do. And when we do things, we don't just drag ourselves along. We drag a company like TAP along with us. And I believe Mtron will be a player in the UTV industry as well as we continue to grow. So we're willing to do that, but at the same time, we got to protect ourselves and make sure that we can have the best car and provide the best car to our customers. This week was a little bit of a weird show for us because I wanted to address some other things. I wanted to get on to buyer's orders. I want to talk about our bulkheads. I want to talk a little bit about patents, talk a little bit about King of the Hammers, what we learned there. And I know the question is going to be, production is starting soon. And I know you've heard this, but we told you about 3 weeks ago that we were 60 days out from production starting, and we're kind of out of things to design. We are really going through all checklists of manufactured parts, stuff that we don't make, going back and forth with our partners, and basically pushing the green button on every single product. And we're down to the nitty gritty. Had a great 2 weeks of engine dyno stuff. We really just went all the way back to where we were in the beginning. And, all of our original test motors were NICA sealed. We're right back to NICA seal again. We're right back to very, very similar components and parts that we started with. So got off on a tangent there, and fortunate enough we were able to trace ourselves right back to where we were. And we've had a good couple weeks. I know my guys are getting burned out because it's very, very, very tedious what we're doing now, and it's not as fun as creating a bulkhead and starting from a clean piece of paper. Now it's, does this bolt, does it need to be fine course? Does it need to be coarse? Does it need to have a helicoil? Does it need a time cert? What are we going to do to hold it in from coming out if it gets loose? It's all those little fit and finish things, and testing. And with testing, we learn. And by doing this stuff, we make a better car. So that's going to wrap this week's show. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I'll have more exciting stuff next week. I'll be in Charlotte for another week. We are heading around to different factory tours and green lighting our components these guys are making for us. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good week.